ladies and gentlemen, he hails from Summersville, South Carolina, with his beautiful wife, and he's got a great business partner, Mr. Reggie Larson, with him. And these guys out there doing a fantastic job in the Carolinas and expanding their business. I've been up and down the highway with them many times in the car, run tires off cars, run out of gas on cars, small towns that says stop on one side, other side says goodbye. He's very relentless in his business in pursuit of the American dream and building some true residual wealth for him and his beautiful family and his grandbaby. So highly favored for that. Can we give a warm welcome to our Monday, every Monday in the month of October? And I'm going to ask for forgiveness up front. I'm going to turn my camera off in a few minutes, but I just want to give the respect that's due to Mr. Curtis Evans. Everybody, let's give a warm welcome to Regional Director, Mr. Curtis Evans.
Hello, everyone. Hello. How's everybody doing? Good. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to learn a little bit. We're going to be able to get some work done. So we're in some exciting times, and I'm going to talk about those today. But I need you to just understand that you're in a particular special part of history. We're in a really special part of history. You're a part of it. I mean, you're a part of it in a way that you don't even know right now. I'm going to try to explain that for you today, okay? And sometimes things are going on around you, and you may not be really aware of it. And then, if I only knew this 5 years ago, that's what you don't want to say 5 years from now. 3 years from now, 2 years from now, you don't want to say, if I only knew this or that, then I would have worked a lot harder. And so let's talk about working hard for a minute. I'm going to talk about that for a minute. This is a crazy business. And the reason this business is so crazy is because it's so, you say, well, why isn't everybody kicking it and running it? Because it's easy not to do it. It's really easy not to do this, okay? So we only have two things. And Greg talks about this a lot when he's on stage. Our only job in this business, well, we got several jobs, but in this business, our only job is to talk to people. And I think what people do when they get into our business, into network multi-level marketing, is they think they're going to get rich on their friends, or they're going to talk to some of their friends, and they're going to get wealthy on their friends or do real well with their friends. And that may very well be the case, okay? It may very well be the case. But for most of us, a lot of our friends, and especially the people with our last names, don't understand what you're doing, and they're not interested because they have the wait and see. Okay. So if you're doing so well, Catherine Williams, when you get to doing really, really good, then I'll take a look at it. In other words, they are looking and seeing what you're doing. So you're still living in the same house, still driving the same car. It must not be doing very well. People come up with these crazy ways of understanding this. But I want everybody on this call to just for a minute believe that in your family, you are the one. You're the dog in your family that's going to make it or break it. A lot of people, Michael Milken, you got Rock, just tons of people are that person. But in your family, you're the one that understood multi-level marketing. You're the one that got involved. You're the ones that went to training, went to the conventions. You're the one that knows it's going to blow up, and they just don't get it because they didn't come to any meetings, they didn't go into training, and they just don't get it. They don't understand. They think you're selling phone service or something, you know? And we know how big it is. And so what I wanted to do today was help you in two ways. One is how to handle those no's, because there's some influential people in your family, your uncle, your brother, your sister, a good friend of yours, that if they say no or insinuated no, they would take you out of the business. Okay, you see that one person, that two people, we're really conscious that way. So if one or two people just don't see us in the light that we want them to see us in, this may not be working for us, okay? That is quite honestly the thing that kills most people. They can't take no. So we're going to talk about that. I got somebody on a call that's going to explain the word no and why you got to really not pay that much attention, okay? And then secondly, I'm going to also touch on another subject, and that's AI, okay? And how big AI is. I got somebody that's going to come on today that's going to explain the size and scope of AI, okay? Because All of us know what it is, but how does it have anything to do with what we do? How does it have anything to do with ACN? Why should we really concentrate our efforts in learning this and be able to apply it? Now, not just learning and having it in our brains, but applying the application. The Bible says faith without works is dead. So you may have all the faith in network marketing. You may have all the faith in ACN. You may have all the faith in AI that you want, but it says faith without what? Works is dead. It's just nothing. So you got a bunch of faith. So what? So what we have to do is be able to go out there in the field and talk to people. That's the work. And keep talking to them and talking to them and talking to them until you find somebody like you that aspires to do some of the things that you're going to be able to do. And somebody that's willing to listen to you as you start to show them how big this business is and the power of AI coming on board with it, okay? So the business is already there. We're already established. We don't hope it's going to work. ACN's a thing. It's there. We're a part of it. That's great. We got contracts with a lot of big companies. That's better. And other people right now are using these services, product and services, but they're not making the money they should. So we're trying to show them that. And we got this big thing coming along called AI. Now, I tried to figure out how to explain those two things, the power of taking a no and AI. So I got a couple of guest speakers that's going to do that for us today. So I need you to bolt up and just get ready to listen. You guys know I'm challenged when it comes to sharing the screen. So I think I got it right this time. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Our first speaker today is a singer, okay? And all these singers and entertainers, big entertainers, all know that they didn't just play one song and got rich playing one song, and that everybody told them no. And this particular entertainer is going to explain that in a way that hopefully you will understand. So I'm going to play about 5 or 10 minutes of that, and then 5 or 10 minutes of another guy that's going to explain how big AI is. So I hope you're ready to go. Take some notes, and I'll try to share the link if I can. And if I don't do it this week, I'll do it next week. Now, I was going to play Jeff Street's part, but I really wanted to make sure that you understood what you got first, okay? That way you could do what we're going to do to blow this up so that everybody on this call can think about the days when we used to work with Al Thomas we met each other on the Destiny International, and we all blew up because of the timing. We were just at the right place at the right time. We had the training already, the right place, the right time, then everything just took off, okay? So let's do this. Let me share the screen, and I'm going to go to sound. That's what I always forget, sound. And then we're going to go to Joe Rogan. That's because the speaker's on Joe Rogan's channel. I'm going to share that. And then just give it a second, Curtis. Don't go too fast. Give it a second. Give it a second, Curtis. There we go. We're going to blow that up. Okay. Okay, it's coming to y'all. There we go. Can everybody see that?
Watermelon, pineapple, and wild cherry. And don't sleep.
Right, let's go
on the Grape collab with Death Row Records. It's a fan favorite for a reason. Happy Dad is now available nationwide in the USA and Canada. Go to your local liquor store or visit happydad.com. For a limited time, use the code Rogan to buy one Happy Dad trucker hat and get one free. Enjoy a cold Happy Dad. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly. Happy Dad, hard seltzer, NT, malt alcohol, Orange County, California.
Yeah. It's I try to tell the kids on American Idol, sometimes you have to look at failure as a great sign. If they had told the Commodores on the first time we auditioned, you got it, ready to go, the answer is we weren't ready to go. It took no and no and no. And we signing at Atlantic, no. Signing at Philly International, no. But we're the greatest band ever. You're right. What did they say to us? You sound just like the Temptations. You sound just like Sly and the Family Stone. What do you sound like? Wow. What do we sound like? I don't know. So the only way we have to find out is we have to start not imitating somebody else. Now comes the thing of but what do we sound like?
Right.
And I didn't know how to write. So how do you write? You follow me? And then you get to Motown. I'm signed to Motown. I don't know how to read or write music. What the hell am I doing here with this band? I'm not the lead singer. I sing some cover songs. And then you walk down the hall and there's Marvin. So I decided I'm going to interview Marvin. Excuse me, Marvin. What music conservatory did you graduate from? And he said, what the hell is that? I said, well, I mean, how do you write your music? He said, no, little brother. Can you hum? Yeah. He says, all that you can't play with 3 fingers, hum it into a tape recorder. And then you go down the hall again. And there's Smokey. And there's Berry Gordy, who built Motown. Excuse me, Mr. Gordy, what university did you graduate from? He said, I was at a car plant. What are you talking about? Everything that I grew up with on the campus of Tuskegee as a kid, I grew up on the university campus. That's academia. Did not apply in the world of hustle.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I'm now meeting the guys and ladies who found their hustle.
They got a PhD in hustle.
They had a PhD in hustle. And I am telling you, Joe, from that moment on, I was let out of the box. Somebody let me out of the cage. Because in academia, there's a logical reason why you know what you know, because you studied it.
Right.
But I was that kid that was sitting in the class going, Mr. Ritchie, would you like to join the rest of the class? I was daydreaming.
Right.
I found at Motown, the whole damn company was tapping on the table. I found out in New York City, whole town is tapping on the table and dancing, right? And so from that point on, I joined this creative source, force, fraternity, sorority of crazy, out of control people that gave me permission to dare to listen to myself.
That must have been so exciting to learn that the structure that you learned in academia, like, no, these wizards, these wizards of music, these masters of giving people emotion and power and energy.
Right. I mean, I get chills sitting here talking to you, watching Marvin record, and you keep thinking he walked in with a paper and he had written these lyrics. No, man, he is scatting at the microphone.
Really?
Oh, say the baby, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I watching?
Wow.
And then he said, bring the microphone over to the couch. He's on the couch, singing in the couch in the control room. What am I watching? What's happening? In other words, it was just so organic and so, you know, because you think about the orchestra and they're there and no, man, this is inside of a wonderful dream of watching creativity just explode with no doors, no windows, no walls.
All righty. So now I'm gonna stop sharing that. I'm gonna explain what he's talking about, and I want everybody to know it. We're in this class. We took the class. We've been to the conferences. We've been to the training. We understand how it works. We understand the compensation plan. We understand the depth of it. But we're professionals. But what do you, when we say go to work, what is everybody talking about when they say go to work, Mr. Jed Miles? What do they mean, Mr. Miles, when they say go to work? Miss Jackie Black, when Al Thomas says go to work, what is he talking about, Maria Estrada? We're talking about Dwight. What does he mean? What does he mean? What does he mean, Mr. Danny Payne? Catherine, what does he mean? Because we don't have we got in a sense a PhD in the technical parts of our business, how it's structured. You know, go to ETL, go to RC, and then we go to RD and RVP. But Mr. Provenzano told me a long time ago that you don't know this business until you just ready to get started with the business when you get to SVP. When are you ready to get the business started again? When you get to what? SVP. He said, when you get to SVP, you know enough about this thing to blow it up. Okay, now could y'all imagine Miss Jackie Black going to SVP and then all of a sudden you went to work and all that money just flowing in from all the stuff you know. You're not wasting time with a cousin that just talking this, he wants to do this, this, and this, and you're waiting 2 or 3 years for him to get along. You don't have that time. Person you just met. So what we want to do is become professional what? Recruiters. I want to make this clear to you. You're gonna make X amount of money on your family and friends. Most of those people, some of those people are gonna be customers. And then there's this big old world out there that you're trying to attack. And there's people out there like Maria Estrada. There are people out there like Dan Jones that you don't know. People like Brian Baker that you just don't know. And you can't know them because you're not going out there and talking to people. The people that you want to get into your business are people you talk to that knew somebody that knew Al Thomas. In another leg, you talk to somebody that knew somebody that knew Rick Kubik, and that person introduced you to Mike Mazur. You're talking to somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knew a Catherine Williams, and that Catherine Williams knew a Greg Provenzano. That's in another leg. Do y'all see what I'm saying? The way the business blows up is not that you knew them. You were a professional recruiter. And when you recruited Curtis went out and talked to 1 or 2 people, and one of those, you knew what to do with those 1 or 2 people that came into the business. You were so good that when one of those 2 people came into business, you were real keen on getting a few customers and then doing what? Finding out who they knew. Some people know a lot of people. There are people that you would get in your business, professional business people that know thousands of people, right? But nobody knows them. Okay? So you're going to be confused that way. Does everybody get the sense of this? We want to be a professional, multi-level marketing person. We want to be a professional recruiter. Like the people on the Dallas Cowboys, they have recruiters. People on the San Diego, whatever, on the Boston, whatever, they got recruiters. That's us. We're out there recruiting, bringing in raw talent into our business. And those are people that see what we see. Some people you can tell them, explain it and show them, but they don't see it yet. They will down the road, but you can't spend a lot of time with them right now. And our job is to move on and keep bringing fresh new names. Maybe that number that Al gave us is low. Maybe 3 people a day is a low number. Maybe yours should be 5 a day or 10 a day. Would you please tell me, Mr. Sam Foster, is 3 a day enough for you? Maybe 5. Maybe it's going to take 5 people a day after day after day. So on your board, like the board behind me, you got 100 names on there. Maybe yours should be 200. Maybe yours should be 150. Don't let your minimum be the maximum. Minimum be your maximum. You want to make sure that you are constantly meeting new people, and they're not knocking on your door every day. Knock, knock, knock. They knocked on your door and said, "Mr. Dan Jones, I came here to be one of your 3 people today." And somebody else knocks an hour later, "I came to be." Maybe you got to invent that on the internet. Maybe you need to do that through social media. Maybe through Marketplace, you need to have on Marketplace in your city an invitation to a Zoom call every Tuesday night. Maybe you need to go out there and tell everybody, I build a business from home, Zoom call every Tuesday night. And then every Tuesday night, you're on the Zoom call. And thousands of people are looking through Marketplace for businesses. They're looking for tires and wheels and brackets and all kinds of things they're looking for. And they saw this business. Here's the business at home. We're going to get on that tonight, honey. And so we got to be creative, okay? But I want you to get rid of the word no. And that's what he said. He said when he got into the business, these people did not have a professional. They didn't have the credentials to be a Marvin Gaye or a Smokey Robinson. And then the guy that started Motown, he worked in a car factory on a line, and he wanted to make an assembly line so that he can make, so we got to figure it out. The compensation plan is there, but we're going to have to talk to people, okay? And a lot of people. So we're professional recruiters, and we're looking for more what? Recruiters. We're professional recruiters, and we're looking for more recruiters. Okay, the compensation plan, the company's going to take care of those people. Okay, everyone else, we're going to get a few customers, and we're really serious about them. What? Seeing who they know. And some people don't know anybody. They know 3 or 4 people, and you're going to waste 2 years working with that one person that only knows 4 or 5 people. Professional recruiters know not to do that. You're here. I'm ready for you all the time. How do you build a big old organization to book your first year in network marketing? How do you build a big organization? You work with the people that's calling you. You work with the people calling you. Okay? So that's what we do. So that's on the no side. Remember, you're going to have to take a lot of no's to get a few people that's going to bring you a lot of business. It's just that simple. You're talking to a lot of people a little bit, not to a few people a lot. You're talking to a lot of people a little bit. And I know that I'm about to go do that. We got a system. I'll talk to Mr. Thomas about that a little later. But I want to show you how to do that. Does everybody get that part? No entertainer has done anything different than that. How many no's did Taylor Swift get? Does anybody have any idea how many no's she got? Does anybody have any idea? We had an actor the other day, one of my favorite actors. And I've seen every one of his movies. His name's Robert Redford. Does anybody know his story? He wanted to be a baseball player in Southern. He was born in California, Southern California. And finally, after one little small movie, he bought an acre of land in Utah. And when he died, he owned 6,000 or 9,000 acres. Okay, built Sundance. Do you think he talked to one person and got happened? Do you think he talked to 2 people or 3 people? How many people did he talk to get all that? And so it's intuitive that all of us have to go through a lot of people until we find the people that we're looking for. And we are recruiters and we're looking for other recruiters. Okay? So everybody got that part. Now, let's talk about this big monster called AI. Okay? AI is going to change the whole world. I can't explain it to you. So I brought somebody that's going to explain AI. I need all of you to pay attention because as big as this business we have, you take this business and put AI with it. The owners did not bring AC and AI to us because they thought it might work. It's going to work. The world is going to change. We're going to be thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of unemployed people. People that's not interested in our business today are coming in left and right. Where do you want them? Do you want them to come in Darrell Ransom downline? Right? You want them to come in his group and bring in 20 or 30 leaders because they're going to be coming because I hate to say this, it's going to be bad for society, but it's going to be really, really, really good for us. The people that don't understand what we do, they're going to be looking at this, and it's up to you to find it, okay, through a system that you put together, okay? Company got the complaint and all that. All we got to go do is talk to a lot of people a little bit and then move on, do a follow-up with them, okay, in a few months, and keep on moving. Every day your calendar needs to have 5 or 6 people you're supposed to follow up with in 6 months. Put them down for 6 months and move on. Okay? Does that make sense? Because we don't have the time to be working and begging them right now. They're not ready now. Like one day I wasn't ready. One day Jed wasn't ready. One day Freddie wasn't ready. One day Brian Baker wasn't ready. One day Al Thomas wasn't ready. One day Anita Eno wasn't ready. One day Angelo wasn't ready. One day Al Randolph wasn't ready. Right? One day Maria Estrada wasn't ready. One day Dwight wasn't ready. One day Dan Jones wasn't ready. So, but when he was ready, he's ready. Okay? And that's what we're doing. We're looking for the people when they're ready. We got to go through a lot of people. And then we have this system that we put them in so that the system will take care of them. Okay? That's what we're doing. We're not working hard. We're just working smart. And when we say work hard, we just talk to a lot of people. Fill this board up at the end of the month. Fill it up with names, people you run into. Get really good at introducing yourself. Getting really good at finding who they are. Some people give you a name and number, some won't. What do we got the computers for? So now, once we got that, let's talk about this thing called AI. I'll move on. Here's my weak spot, so I'm going to share again. And share the sound. I got that. Joe Rogan. And now I got this guy that you all know that's going to explain this because anybody has come to him to want to know how this is going to affect the world, the planet as we know it. Some of these people, because he's a friend, a foe of yours, and some people can't stand him, but he knows what's going to happen. So let's go. And I can't explain it like this, but he's going to explain it. So let's go.
We are justified in perpetrating that kind of brutality. And those who are now saying we're going to withhold food and medicine and shelter from millions of people as a consequence of those awful events. That also is dehumanizing the people in Gaza who are suffering right now. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not drawing equivalences. This is because this is part of how our debates get bogged down. What I'm saying is that when we don't see people as people, bad things happen. When we dehumanize people, bad things happen. And America, at our best, stands for the idea that everybody counts and is everybody's equal under the law and has an inherent dignity and respect. And that idea, when we lose that idea here, the whole world gets dimmer. And we're seeing it right now. Autocrats feel like, oh, we've got license now. Because America, they seem to be okay with it. In fact, they're kind of doing some of the same things we're doing. And one of the things that struck me when people sometimes would ask me, what surprised you about being president? And I said, well, I knew we were going to be paying for our groceries, but I didn't realize like we had to pay for like toilet paper and stuff. And so we got to kind of budget this thing, make sure, basic household goods are taken care of. Still a good deal, free rent, plane, right?
You missed a plane.
The helicopter was even better than the plane. But the thing that surprised me about the work of the presidency is just how much the United States underwrites the global system. Like when there's a tsunami and people are in desperate need of aid, the United States is who they call. It's not Moscow, it's not Beijing. When there's a global economic crisis or a pandemic, it's the United States that is expected to help mobilize resources and come up with a cure. So when we decide, well, that's not our business, that's for suckers to help the rest of the world, well, then other countries start thinking, all right, well, we might as well, let's call Putin or let's call Xi. And they may not be able to help us as much as the Americans can, but at least they seem to be paying attention.
Let me put a couple of other issues on the table. You're the Walkman generation, right? You had a Walkman growing up, didn't you?
Embarrassingly, I was too old for a Walkman. I think I kind of skipped the Walkman thing.
Well, here's why I asked the question.
But you clearly were. I can picture you with your Sony.
Please
You're
don't go
jamming
there.
your tunes. What were you listening to on your Walkman? Fess up, Steve.
I'll tell you backstage.
In the interest of time, though, AI is the whole new frontier. A lot of potential, but a lot of downside. What are your concerns? What are the possibilities from your standpoint?
I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this, talking to people who are developing it. People forget those gadgets that you carry around in your pockets and your purses, the smartphone. I mean, I was 2 years into my presidency before that thing was even really sold. It's just not that. It's only been around for 15 years now. So the transformation that's taking place technologically, I sort of tracked, right? I was the first digital president, effectively. AI, based on what I've seen, heard, is going to be more disruptive than social media or the internet. And it's going to happen faster. And, you know, I talked to somebody who works for one of the large frontier companies that are developing this, who's a thoughtful person and brings, you know, real human values to it. Not all of the people who are developing it seem to be as focused as he is on it. And I asked him, well, what do you think this is going to be like? What's the analogy? And he said, you know, I sat with a group of our engineers to discuss what this technology could mean. And the best analogy we came up with was this is likely to be like electricity.
Really?
Now that's a pretty heavy thing, electricity. The difference is electricity kind of developed and was introduced into our lives over the course of several generations. And this is coming over the next few years. It's already here, actually. So let me describe very quickly what I think we can say with some certainty. And this is going to be a big technology, and it's going to be a disruptive technology. It has enormous potential to jumpstart discovery and innovation at speeds and at levels that we have not seen before, and that could improve everybody's lives enormously. You know, if the most powerful models of AI, artificial general intelligence, gets developed, let's say, over the next 5 to 10 years. It is possible, because the definition of that is that it can do some things that humans can't do. We could get a cure for cancer. We could get nuclear fusion. We could come up with zero-emission carbon mechanisms that would slow the warming of the planet and be good for everybody. So it has this enormous potential for good. Here are the downsides. There is the sort of science fiction risk that we'll all be bowing to our robot masters. There is a non-zero chance that that happens, by the way. I don't think it's likely, but people who develop it, I think we should, you know, make sure we know how to turn off the switch if
good idea.
If Hal gets out of line, you know, goes haywire. For those of you who are younger, that's a reference to a Stanley Kubrick movie, 2001: Space Odyssey. Worth checking out. The more likely risk is that these tools get weaponized. So let's say a rogue state or a terrorist group gets a hold of AI and says, develop a new strain of smallpox that we can release, you know, in a major city. Or find a way to insinuate yourself into the critical infrastructure of a target and bring down air traffic control. those are serious risks that our national security teams need to be paying attention to. The thing that is certainly going to happen, although we don't know exactly how and how it plays out, but we should be having a democratic conversation about right now, this will be economically disruptive.
Okay, so there are big things that are coming on board. This AI, the biggest problem is that people, I've been studying, and it's kind of scary, but people that are going to school to get an education, a 4-year degree in something, better make sure they're doing it in the right thing, because our economy is going to be disruptive. In other words, if you know, the computer's going to be able to do, if you needed 200 people to do something, you're probably going to need 4 people, okay? The 196 people won't be ever hired, ever, okay? And so it'll probably be 4 people that will be watching the system and answering questions when a human is needed to decide something. The rest of the folks out there, the data entry, the doing this, that, the other thing, you know, which you go to school for, won't be needed. And so in fact, some societies are saying right now that they're going to have to come up with a minimum pay, because there's so many people that won't be working. There's so many people that won't be working that they may have to come up with a minimum pay, $400 a week, $300 a week, $500 a week, because you won't be able to find a job. Okay, those people will not be able to find a job. Now, I'm telling you, if you're in what we are in right now, they're going to be looking for us. Okay, going to be a bunch of people looking for us. The question is, where will you be when that happens, or will you know it? Will you know it when it happens? Let me give you an example. Will you be an SVP, and this week 25 people that you don't know because of your systems came into the business and all of them got 2 customers, okay? Well, this month 100 people came in. 100 people came in to your organization. 450 times 100 is $45,000, okay? They came in because they're looking for work. They're looking for something to do. And you have a system. That is where we're about to go. We got to hurry up and get ourselves and some other people promoted, so that when this massive amounts of people are just displaced. And I'm going to tell you now, the CEOs, I watched CNBC, CEOs said they're not hiring any more people. The CEOs said they're going to try to work with the people that they have. And as they leave, as through attrition, when they leave, they just won't bring on more people. Okay, some of them are saying we're going to get rid of some of the people we got right now, because AI, this version that they have, which is going to be another 3 versions by the middle of next year, another 3rd version is going to be out by the middle of next year. I mean, the 3rd version for where they are now, and that's just going to, they just won't need regular people. Now, if you're a mechanic, if you work on air conditioners, or you paint houses, or you put roofs up, you have work. There will be physical work. Computer won't be doing that. But all this computer stuff, go sit down, typing it, entering information and reading it and entering some more information, AI got that down. Thousands of jobs will be displaced, and it'll do it more efficient, and it'll do it 24 hours a day, and it won't talk back, and it won't ask for no benefits. And once the program is bought, is paid for, there's so many benefits. That's why the stock market is moving fast now, because so much money is going into the market for AI computers, or database, data centers. They got big data. Where I live, there's a huge data center that I can't describe how big it is. Google got one. I can't describe how big it is. Now, hardly anybody works there. They got security force. You can break onto the Air Force Base easier than you get on that Google outfit. And then they're building another one on the other side of town that's going to be twice as big as that one, because of AI. So that's what's coming down the road. We're in the right thing, and we're at the right time. Get your skills up. Learn how to become a professional recruiter. Learn how to become a professional recruiter. Learn how to become a professional recruiter, so you can show these other people who don't know what they're doing what to do. Okay, that's our goal. And there's enough money in there. We have less than 0.5% of the market right now. The whole ACN all totaled up, you add it all up and subtracted, divided by 7, multiplied it, factored by 4, square root. We got 0.5% of the whole market. We got a long way to grow. If we can get them to 5% of the market, everybody on this call is wealthy. Everybody is on this call is wealthy. So that's my part for today. I was a little longer than normal, but I want to bring you two experts, Mr. Obama talking about the AI part, and then Lionel Richie as well as any singer any entertainer you would ever want to see, learning how to manage the word no and not quit. All right, that's all I got, Mr. Thomas.